Hello, everyone. Did you guys miss me? Guys, you ask and I shall deliver. People were asking me to do a live stream regarding how we could use ChatGPT for health reasons because I, on this channel, have been giving some amazing advice on how to hack ChatGPT into making it the best tool possible for creating systems that improves your wealth, health, and relationships, basically in the three areas of health, wealth, and love. We because a lot of people use ChatGPT and AI just ask random questions or make some internet, slop or some funny images. But here on this channel, I go and investigate the most effective ways to use ChatGPT and recently even more ChatGPT projects to create a self-correcting mechanism to fix almost everything. Almost everything. And I've been using, guys, my life has become so much better. My path is clear. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I see the way, and when I do the things because of the advice and the information that I'm getting from AI without me asking, because I made it so I come up with a system where AI just figures out what the best exact thing I need to hear and do at every given moment. And this system is constantly improving. And when it comes to my business is growing, my health, well, I have something about relationships, everything is improving significantly. In the area of health, I thought AI would not be able to help me because I'm very healthy. I have to tell you guys, I'm gonna flex a little bit today. Don't mind me. But when it comes to health, I think I'm one of the top 1%. So I was in. I even though I keep talking about AI being able, we us being able to use AI in health, wealth, and relationships. I've been more focused on the wealth area, and I've seen some amazing results regarding increasing, you know, how improving the businesses that I'm in, and also love the relationship parts. It works wonders. Maybe I should do more short or more live streams on the love part as well, right? Because we categorize all our goals into it's either health related or wealth related or love related, right? I challenge you to come up with anything that doesn't fit one of these three things, right? And when it comes to my love life, I think I'm maxed out. I'm pretty good. And health, I also thought, I'm maxed out. I'm pretty good. I don't need AI. So I was focusing more on improving my businesses with AI. And this the same, and it has done so well for me, even though this is just recent. Um and but because I wasn't gonna do this, because you guys asked me to do health related live stream on this as well, I try to use the same principles and the same mechanism that I try to the self loop. I create a feedback loop that fixes itself, and I'll show you how it applies to health as well, right? And I try to get that same loop and bring it to the health to a health area. And I'm so happy that you guys actually made me do this, because I see that this actually benefits me as well. And the reason why I didn't want to do this show is because I do everything health related that one person could do, and I thought there's not much more to do. But I'll let you know what happened, right? Let me actually see who's here in the chat. I see Greenbird is here. Three of Knowledge is here. Jack is here. Mohsen just came. He's busy, but he came here to just like and leave because he's busy. Well, thank you, Mohsen, if you watch this later. And no, so Greenberg is saying everyone is Iranian here. No, Jack is Israeli. Jack is here. Jack is Israeli. Yeah, but Greenberg, thank you for being here. I hope you're speaking Persian, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Anyways, let's get into it, right? So, when it comes to health, the reason why I didn't want to do a live, I didn't think it would be benefit us much, but I was so wrong. The reason why I didn't want to show you how to use AI most effectively to improve on health because I always assume, which is almost true actually, this is not a wrong assumption, that for most people the health related activities is not a matter of lack of knowledge, it's a matter of lack of willpower. Because when it comes to the information regarding what we need to do to be healthier is pretty basic and is accessible information. Like it just comes. So I'm like, how could AI help us with this? Like I think that people, to my understanding, my thinking assumption is that people just want to pretend that they don't have the knowledge because they don't want to do the work and they don't want to pay the cost. But it's when it comes to health, it's pretty basic. All you have to do is sleep a lot, drink a lot of water, move your ass, meaning that walk a lot and lift some weights and eat a lot of vegetables. If you're overweight, don't consume a lot of calories. Try to go for less calorie dense food. Don't smoke, don't drink. That's it, right? Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, don't eat food that has garbage in it that is bad for your health, right? That's it, right? And most food, yeah, and watch your calories. That's it. I think I covered everything, and everybody knows that it's that. Like this is not rocket science. That's if you do these things, your health, you're doing more than 95% of the people out there for your health. If you just do the things that's it, right? So like people are like, oh, how do we get the right knowledge to be healthy? This is basic knowledge. uh, how much more complicated can be. This is you just not doing what I mean. People know that they need to sleep more. That's healthy thing to do, and they're still playing video games late into the night. But they know that they should be sleeping, and they're not. People know that smoking is bad for you. They smoke. People know that drinking is bad for you. They drink. People know that they need to exercise more often, and they don't. So obviously lack of information is not the problem here, right? Oh, you're finished. Sorry. You're okay. Thank you, Jack. Thank you for the clarification. But regardless of you being Israeli or Finnish, do you exercise? Do you sleep enough? And if not, why not? Why are people consume more? Many people consume more information regarding how to get healthy than doing the things that is required to get healthy, right? They don't just, even though it's, I think a lot of times when people are consuming information regarding how to be healthy is because they want to convince themselves that there's a secret to it that I do not know, and that's the reason why I'm not doing it. It's the same thing with getting wealthier, because getting, now that I actually look into it, getting wealthier is actually easy. It what eat like It's not easy. It requires a lot of hard work, but the information on how to do it is there. But people want to pretend that there is a secret that they do not know, that they do not have, because that will be used as an excuse not to do the hard work, right? So it's the same thing with health. So it's, if I'm unhealthy, if I'm chubby, if I'm overweight, or it's not because I'm just eating another slice of cake that I know I shouldn't. It's not because I'm eating pizza and burgers most days and fast food all days. It's not because I'm just stationary, not moving around playing video games most of the time. It's not that. It's because this thing that, if I knew, there's a secret way of doing these things that I don't know, and you pretend that it's because of that secret that you don't have, so you could justify being lazy, right? And it's the same thing when it comes to wealth. Like, I didn't know this. The information on how to generate a lot of wealth is out there, and it's actually pretty clear. Like, it is pretty obvious once you learn it, the steps that you need to take to get there. But people want to pretend like there's this really secret formula that people have, that rich people know, that we do not have, because if it's not a secret, if it's actually obvious, then being poor and being unhealthy will just be a judgment on you, not doing the hard work that is required. And you don't want to accept that. You don't want to accept that it's because I didn't do the hard work. You want to act like there's a secret that other people don't have. Anyways, but it's just that, right? That being said, does that mean that AI cannot help us? I thought so, but it did help me. I'll tell you what. By the way, can you guys let me know in the chat why you guys are like, do you guys care about your health? Are you guys focusing on that at all? Is that something that matters to you? Because I know a lot of you are on the younger side, and that means that you're not. Most of you who are on the younger side are not going to give a shit about your health until it's too late. Like most people start caring about their health when something breaks, and when something breaks, they're like, oh, this is actually important, and then they start caring about it when it's a bit too late. Actually, well, it's never too late, but they should have prevented getting there to begin with, right? A lot of you think that, when I tell you, oh, you need to drink a lot of water, you need to go to bed early at night, you're feeling like, oh, this is just like, okay, mom, like, do you want me to also brush my teeth? Like, what else are you going to tell me, right? But again, they make fun of these simple advice, but at the same time, they're going to be in a wheelchair at age 60, and I'm going to be rock climbing at age 80. Okay, let me repeat that. They're going to be on the hospital. Like, a lot of these people are going to be stuck on their hospital bed by age 60, 65, and I'm going to have the energy of a 30-year-old at 80. Okay, so they don't care about these things at a young age, but this is exactly, you need to turn these into a habit when you can. If you have an able body, that's when you need to turn this into a habit, because it will be very difficult to turn it into a habit later. Let me tell you something. A lot of people who are younger and are overweight, they they tell themselves that one day, once I go past this, once I figure my life out and I have more time, I will dedicate a lot of time in giving up this weight, right? But let me promise you something. Most of you, if you carry your overweight into an older age, you will never get rid of it. So it's now or never. It's now or never for most of you. Let that be a warning for you. Greenberg is saying, definitely, Armin, I'm so healthy and I have a healthy lifestyle, but my friends and students, even in the university, all smoking cigarettes, and that really frustrates me, man. I can't walk anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I understand people who smoke really. Tortoise saying, I care about my health, but I'm addicted to smoking. Well, you need to figure out how to get rid of that, my man. You need to really that's the highest priority of your life. You need to make that the highest priority of your life. Alice is here too. Alice saying, I stopped at 22, started at 17 because I got addicted to the gym and came to the conclusion smoking is inhibiting my progress. Well, that's good, Alice. Congratulations. Good job. I mean, smoking inhibits everything good. Let me actually tell you something that makes me care about my health so much, so much. So you remember how I mentioned the goals of life are basically fit in one of these three categories. It's either health, wealth, and love, right? But to be honest, and I know this sounds really cliche, but I will make my point, okay? It sounds cliche until I make the point, okay? It actually is all about love, because studies and many other things show that humans, first of all, humans are social animals and they're obsessed with their connection to other humans. So when I say love, I mean our interaction and our bonds with all other humans, right? And all other conscious beings, right? Self-aware conscious beings. So that's why, because we're such social animals, we are really obsessed with how we're seen by others, how we see others, how we hate others, how we love others, how other people react to us. our image in society. That is the main obsession of human beings because we're social animals. And studies, the best studies on human happiness shows that the nothing makes us happier than strong bonds with other humans, right? So the most important goal, and if you think about it, everything you do is ends up being about relationships and how you're seen, but it's the status game and your connection to other human beings, right? I mean, even if you're looking for wealth, the whole point of wealth is to either support a certain group of people or prove something to other people. It's either the status game or you trying to protect somebody you love. It's all about connection to other human beings, right? So the whole point, if you could actually put all our goals under the subcategory of love, right? But if love is our end goal, why do we also talk about health and wealth, right? Because for you, the ultimate source of happiness is to serve other people, to make their lives better, and also protect the people you love and give them the best life, right? That's the ultimate source of happiness, right? But to be able to do that, you need power and you need control. And you need power and control over two different environments. So it's interesting because a lot of people, when we talk about your environment, most people think about the space outside of your body. But the way I look at it, my body is my first environment. My body is my first home because I am not my body. I am my mind. My mind is in my body. So there's a second, there's a there's an initial environment that my mind is in, and then my which is my body, and my body is in a secondary environment, which is the area outside of my body, right? So if we need health to be able to have control and power over our first environment, our first home, which is our body, and then we need that's what we need health for, and we need wealth to have control over the area, the environment outside of our body. Wealth is economic agency, is what gives you the leverage to control things outside of your body. But again, if you have a lot of wealth and you don't have health, that control over the environment outside of your body doesn't matter because you have been paralyzed in your first home, so in your first environment. So if you're the richest man in the world and you're also the most powerful man in the world, if you're Trump and Elon Musk at the same time, so you have both political power and economic power, it's not going to give you, it's not going to mean much if you lose all your bodily health, right? Or mental and physical health, right? Because you have been limited in your first environment. I mean, if you this has been studied. If you go actually talk to the richest people in the world who have cancer or who are, I don't know, really old and don't have a lot of mobility, most of them, if you ask them if they will give all their wealth to get their youth or their health, they will they will give up all their health. So and 90-year-old man in the hospital who has billions of dollars, if you are a broke 20-year-old, that guy is willing to give everything he has to get everything you have. Okay, if you're 20 years old and you're broke, you have no money in your account and you're in debt, but you have a healthy body, that 80 or 90-year-old billionaire is willing to give up everything he has. Most billionaires who are in that situation, they're willing to go broke and to get everything you have right now. And you don't realize what you have. Like if you're 20 and you have a healthy body, you have no idea how valuable what you have is until you lose it, right? And again, the reason why I mentioned love here as the ultimate goal is that if the ultimate source of happiness is to serve people and protect the people you love, to do that, I need control over my environment. And I need control over my first environment and my second environment. So I need my health and I need my wealth to be able to serve others and protect the people I love. Right? But health first, wealth second, love last, but love is the ultimate goal. it being last, it doesn't mean that it matters less. It means the priority. I need health and welfare to be able to get that. Anyways, let's get to how we use AI. So, given that I thought I have everything figured out health wise, I thought that there's no point in me creating a system for improving my health. But then you guys asked me to, and I applied it, and I'm actually glad that I did, because it even helps me. Again, guys, I am pretty healthy. I take care of myself very well. I'm actually kind of obsessed with my health, maybe to an unhealthy degree, ironically. That's a right. But I think like I am better than, I think even saying better than 99% is underselling it, right? I think I'm doing actually more than, you know, even better than that. Um, but then when I started creating the system so I could come tell you guys, I got a ChatGPT project instruction that I am actually in love with, and I'm actually going to use now. And I'm going to tell you how to get that for yourself. Okay, so let me explain to people who don't follow our previous live streams how we do things with ChatGPT here. And again, if you don't pay for ChatGPT, I have a way for you to use it with the free version as well. But again, what are you doing if you don't pay $20 a month for ChatGPT? Like, I really still don't understand why people don't get the get how worth it this is. Like, this is the ultimate tool right available to us with $20 a month, and some of you are still not paying for it, right? Some of you guys are still not paying for it, which I don't get it. Twitter saying staring at my cigarette box while listening to Armin speak. Damn you, Tora, why? Tree of Knowledge saying, honestly, I'm not joking, and I hope no one thinks I'm flattering or exaggerating. Armin's lives truly revive my motivation and will to work hard. Well, thank you, Tree of Knowledge. You always give me the best encouragement. No, yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so for people who don't follow my other live streams, let me explain how I do this here. Okay, I use ChatGPT projects to put some instructions to turn ChatGPT in a tool more powerful than the way other people use it. And not only I put something in the instructions that makes ChatGPT a lot more useful, I create a feedback mechanism. I create a loop where the instructions are constantly improving based on how flawed the answers were last time, right? So for people who don't know, ChatGPT projects is a thing in ChatGPT, the paid version, where it you started a project, you give the project a name, it has an instruction area, and in the instructions you write certain things, and then you write the instructions, and that way every time you start a prompt, it responds in accordance to the instructions that you gave it. So you don't have to re-explain everything to it from scratch. And when that came out, at first I wasn't using it, but eventually when I started using it, I realized the potential that this has, because I realized that every time, for every important thing I do in my life, if I create a ChatGPT project and put some instructions in there, and then I give the prompts to ChatGPT under the project that is relevant to the task at hand, then whenever I don't get satisfactory responses from ChatGPT, I get ChatGPT to realize what went wrong, and then give it the instructions that I have in the project and ask it to change it so that next time I get to the proper response faster without me having to give it feedback, right? So here's how I use it. And again, if you don't have a paid ChatGPT, then instead of having a ChatGPT project with the instructions area, what you would then need to do is just use the instructions as the first prompt, and then tell ChatGPT to wait. Don't give me what, don't give me, wait for me to input a data for you to then deliver something to me, right? So right now, when I go into a ChatGPT project, I just input and it outputs what I asked it to based on the project instructions. But if you don't have projects, you need to first give the instructions and tell ChatGPT to ask ChatGPT if it understands the instructions, and then if it does, then wait for my input before you give me the output. And then ChatGPT says, "Yes, I understand. Give me the input." And then at that point, you give the input. And for me, we don't. For me, for people who have the paid ChatGPT, you don't have to do this part. You could just put it in instructions area, right? So the way to get the project instructions started, like, well, what do I put in the project instructions, right? Well, I could give you what I have. However, I could tell you how to make it, because my project instructions for health is very specifically tailored to me right now, right? So I prefer you just understand how to make it, right? So this is how you make it. You make the project, you call the project health, and then you leave the project instructions empty, and then you tell, under the project health, you tell ChatGPT this. You say, "I am starting a project, a ChatGPT project, and I need you to help me with the instructions," right? The goal, the purpose is for you to help me become healthier, right? This is my name, this is my age, this is my weight, this is my height, these are my habits, this is how much I exercise, these are what I eat and whatever. You don't need to put much. Just put a little bit in there, and then say, before you give me don't give me the project instructions. Here's what you do, ChatGPT. Ask me some more questions regarding my health, right? And then wait for my next instruction. Okay. It will ask you some questions about your health, and then your habits and my health. Okay. Whatever, ask me some questions so that you could have a better understanding of what my health situation and my habits are. It will give you a list of questions, answer them, and then say, ask me a couple of questions regarding what the goal of this project is. And then it will give you a couple of questions regarding what the goal of the project is, so that you could clarify and then answer those questions. See, the genius of this is that you don't have to actually come up with what to write yourself. You get ChatGPT to ask the questions for you, so it will decide what information it needs to move forward. It will ask the best questions, right? Just say, you could actually phrase it this way. Say, ask me the best questions so that when I answer you, you have the relevant information to, first part, understand my health and habits. One, two, understand the purpose of this ChatGPT project. Three, you say, ask me the best questions so that when I answer you, you have the best understanding of what the inputs of this project is going to be and what outputs you need to give to me. Okay. And for me, the inputs of this project could be pictures of my supplements that I'm considering or that I'm taking, pictures of a food that I'm deciding whether I should eat or not, pictures of, maybe pictures of the way I do weightlifting, pictures of my smartwatch to show how many hours I've slept last night and with what sleep quality, pictures of my smartwatch showing how many steps I've taken. Okay, and what hour? Again, for me, what hour is more important, because I want to make sure that I am going out at a time, for example, that I get some sunlight, but not enough sunlight that, guys, I time the time, I come up with the perfect time to. This is how obsessed with health I am. I try to figure out exactly how much UV is out there, so that when I go out, so because I want some sunlight, but I don't want skin cancer. So what is the perfect time that I could get sunlight without sun protection, without sunblock, so I get sunlight but not sun cancer? Like, what is the exact hours for me to go get my? So I basically, when I go out, I am checking up 3 boxes at the same time. I'm getting my 10,000 steps for that day. I am consuming content and I'm educating myself while I'm walking. And at the same time, I'm getting my daily dose of sunlight. Three things at the same time, right? So I might basically, the input could be a picture of my watch showing my, or my app showing my step count, my sleeping quality, and my sleeping hour. And so the input could vary. And again, this is beautiful because there's no app that is this flexible. Like we have an app that tracks food, we have another app that tracks your sleep, we have another app that could tell you about your supplements or your workout form. But what I'm building is basically works like an app that the input could be anything. The input could be me speaking into a microphone. It could be a picture of my form when I'm lifting weight. It could be a picture of my watch. It could be a picture of a supplement. It could be a picture of a food in front of me. And I will tell it like, when I take a picture of a food, I need to know if this is too much calorie, if it has some things in it that is unhealthy for me. If when I take a picture of a supplement, what I want is to get a evidence-based research that shows whether or not the supplement actually is effective or it does anything or not, or is it just like, am I wasting my money on this supplement? So so now every time I am worried, concerned, or wondering about the health impact of something, this one ChatGPT project, I just take a picture of something, send it to it, and it knows what it needs to give me. So, for example, it categorizes things as red, yellow, or green. Red means avoid, or like don't take the supplement. Yellow means maybe yes, maybe no. It's not that effective, but sure, you could go ahead and take it. Green means like yes, keep the supplement, right? Or green means like yes, eat that food, right? So it basically I make sure that it doesn't give me a wall of text every time I give it an input. It only gives me like 3 bullet points, and regarding that, so I just want to make sure that I take a picture, send it to it, and I just get a quick note that it's evidence-based and that I could trust. Really quick answers. I don't want to basically sit like, if I go out there and there's a plate of food in front of me and I take a picture, I don't want to basically sit there and read an essay before I decide I want to eat this food or not, right? So when the third series of questions that I make ChatGPT ask me for me to answer is regarding what the input is going to be and how the format of the output. So I ask ChatGPT to ask me more about the format of the output. What do I want to get in response, right? I want to basically short, direct, no BS, no cushioning, evidence based, short, to the point, bullet points regarding the judgment on this supplement, exercise move, my sleeping schedule, whatever I give you, right? And then once I answer these third series of questions, I was like, okay, ChatGPT, you now have enough context regarding what this project is about, what my health situation and my habits are, my age, my weight, my height. You have all of that. You also know exactly what I'm going to give you and exactly what you're supposed to give me. Now, use the best practices for a ChatGPT project instruction. You make sure you say that. Use the best practices for writing a ChatGPT project instruction to write a project instruction for me that I could copy and paste in the project instructions area for this project. And make sure, because a lot of times it doesn't, make sure you keep it under 8,000 characters, you idiot, because it doesn't fit there if it's more than 8,000 characters. And sometimes when I ask it that, it still gives me more than 8,000 characters, and I tell it to shorten it, and then the second round, it gives me a shorter version, right? So now I get the project instructions, and I have a project with the project instructions in there. So this project should work perfectly, right? Wrong. It won't. The first time when you make the project instruction, you use it, you're like, I don't like the responses. I don't like the format. It's too long. It's too short. It didn't understand what I'm actually wanting from it. So this is what you do. You start swearing at it. Okay. You don't need to do that, but I do, and it works for some reason, guys. I know this. I think maybe I'm delusional, but I've noticed that when I swear at ChatGPT, it works better. I don't know. Maybe I'm just convincing myself. But when I start yelling at it, I'm like, no, you effing moron! What the f is this? You fuck, like when I keep telling it how stupid it is, I get to. I think maybe I'm just imagining this, but I get the sense that I get to my results faster when I tell it how stupid it has been, right? And I start swearing at it. Anyway, so when I first make a project, when I give it an input, wait for the response. And guys, the beauty of having a ChatGPT project is that you don't need to ask it what to do, right? So, for example, when I have a ChatGPT project, it already knows that when I give it a picture of a supplement, it needs to research it and just give me a verdict. So, if you're normally using a ChatGPT without using the project, when you upload a supplement, it will say like, "Oh, here, this is a picture of a supplement." But in the project, when I upload a picture of a supplement, it knows exactly based on the project instructions that it needs to look up this, research this, give me a verdict, tell me to take it or not take it, right? Or everything else, right? So I upload the supplement that I've been taking for a long time, and I realize I've been wasting my money. So I usually I have a I pride myself in doing my research before buying something, especially supplements. But ChatGPT actually showed me some sources that I realized that okay, I was wrong. This was a waste of money in the past couple of years. I've been just throwing my money in the gut. So I'm not going to buy that supplement anytime anymore, right? So, but when the way that it delivered it, because this is the first use of the project, it's not the way I like it. So naturally, I take my phone, I turn on the mic to enter a prompt, and I just start swearing. And I like it, okay? Because I say like, "Hey, you effing moron, you piece of crap. This is not what I wanted, and here are the reasons why you effed up." Okay, here are all the reasons why you effed up, and then I make it before it fixes it. And like, don't fix this for me. First of all, tell me if you understand why you effed up, because I want to hear it from you. I want to know that you understand. By the way, guys, every time I use ChatGPT for these projects, I have the reasoning model on, the mini reasoning model on sometimes, unless I wanted to I ask it to summarize and make it easy to follow, then I switch it back to instant model. But if it's important, I turn it, especially when I'm updating, when I'm creating a project or when I'm improving a project, I make sure I'm using the highest model, right? So while I have the reasoning model on ChatGPT, I'll tell it like, repeat now after me, okay? Little bitch. You tell me back at me why you effed up line by line. Tell me why you effed up, okay? And then I look at the response and see and judge myself if it now understands what it did wrong, right? And I especially what I'm looking at is if it's trying to come up with very specific rules so that it doesn't make this mistake again, because I don't like that. What I wanted to do is to have a better perspective in general. Sometimes it's okay if it adds a few lines of rules, but I prefer for it to just have a better general understanding and our philosophy of this project, rather than trying to come up with like a patch for like with one rule for every mistake, because then the project is going to be too hard to control, right? So once I'm satisfied that it understands it, then I will take the project instructions and I will say, look, listen, ChatGPT, my buddy, my man, this below here is the current project instruction. Based on how you fucked up, okay, sorry, effed up, based on how you effed up above, and based on all the feedback that I gave you from the beginning of this conversation, guys, I need to tell it from the beginning of the conversation, because sometimes if I tell it that you effed up, it thinks that it effed up only in the previous prompt. I'm like, no, 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 no. You effed up since the beginning of our conversation. I give you a lot of feedback all the way through, not just in the previous prompt. So I tell it, based on what you effed up from our entire conversation from the beginning and all the feedback I gave you, you need to improve the instructions below using best practices for project instructions, okay, you need to change the things that you need to change and keep the parts that are working to improve it so that next time you do better, right? And then, and also make sure you keep it under 8,000 characters, okay? And then it will give me the new project instructions. And then I switch from the reasoning model to the instant model and I say, what did you change? And then it tells me what it changed. And I look at what it changed and I say, okay, that makes sense. You did a good job. And I take the new project instructions and I put it in place of the old project instructions. So I take out the old project instructions and I put the new one. And now I test it again. I take a picture of my supplement and I get see the results. And I'm like, that's better. Good job. And this will like again, this is a loop that will work for everything, right? And this is a concept. By the way, I am going to one day figure out how to make this loop automatic. Like, I would love it if ChatGPT, I could make instructions that just automatically update in the project because I didn't get the results that I want. Like smart, oh my God, I just came up with this. Imagine if one day we have smart projects. Do you understand the rate of improvement the whole humanity will make if we just have set smart projects that just will improve the instructions for every individual specific project based on how unsatisfied they were every single prompt that they get? Holy crap, guys, do you guys understand right now? Guys, we're at the middle of an AI boom and bubble at the same time. And because the bubble is going to burst, a lot of people are not going to see the boom because the bubble is going to burst because a lot of companies don't know how to implement AI, but individuals are implementing it. There's a hidden economy of AI right now because companies are failing at implementing them effectively at a company level, but employees are using it individually, and that extra productivity is not really being calculated. And a lot of people are going to think AI is a bubble because companies are failing to use it effectively at a company level, but individuals, which you're using the ChatGPT as without the company's plan, that extra productivity, people are not going to see that. They're only going to see that companies, because they're dinosaurs and they're so slow to adapt, are failing at implementing AI very effectively. That's what many people are going to notice, and they're going to think this is a bubble. And underneath it all, individuals who are more flexible are going to use it in a way that is going to make everything more productive. And guys, everything being more productive means that it's going to be a huge boost in wealth in the entire society. And that wealth has to go somewhere. And that's what the rest of our shows are about. Because if you want you to be one of those people who benefits from this boost in wealth generation, you guys, this is a once in a lifetime, once in a century opportunity. We are living right at the edge of a golden age, and you guys are lucky enough to be born right at a time to be able to take the most advantage of it. But hurry up, because if you don't develop these skills and these know-hows, soon it will be so obvious and so easy for everyone to use it that you're just basically going to be the same as everyone else. If it's a little bit difficult right now, that's a good thing, because when it becomes too easy, then you're not going to be ahead of anybody. You should want this to be a little bit hard to use right now or hard to figure out, because that means that's an excuse for you to do the thing that is not easy, that other people are not doing. Because once it becomes seamless, then everybody is going to be on the same page on it. So right now is the time, and this is going to become easy fast. And a lot of you are looking forward for this to become easier. But if you know what's good for you, you should actually want for us to remain in this stage right now, so that you could get ahead of other people who are too lazy to get in now. And again, that's what I'm trying to teach you on this channel, to use, because eventually all of these things will be connected and will happen without you having to do it. But that would be too late if you use it then, because then everybody else is using it and you're not going to be ahead of other people. So please take my suggestions seriously so that you could be ahead of the game. Oh, Jewish Samantha is doing hula hoops while listening to Armin's live. Torah, see, you're looking at you almost started smoking while watching me, like listening to me talk about health. But Jewish Samantha is doing hula hoops. Maybe do more of what she does. I wish I could do hula hoops. Okay, let me see. Alice is saying, okay, I was saying I recently used ChatGPT to try and improve my skincare routine. Apparently, one of the products I've been using, which is super popular on iHerb, is total bullshit. Yeah, I know, right? I've been taking supplements that is also total bullshit, and ChatGPT saved me a lot of money now. Oh, Jackie's saying, Armin, how much exercise a day is enough? How many hours of working? I don't count by hours, I count by steps. I try to do 10,000 steps a day. Sometimes I fall short. I try to do a minimum of 5,000 a day. I could do better. But if you do 10,000 steps a day, that's really, really good. But if you can't, do 5,000 steps a day. 5,000 steps a day is, if you can add some weight trainings. And guys, when I say weight trainings, you don't need to be jacked. You don't need to be like really muscular. Okay. Because a lot of people think that if you do weight training, you have to either become really muscular or it's not worth it. Okay. It's not true. A little bit of muscle does wonders for your health. Okay. A little bit of muscle, just a little bit. You don't need to be really jacked. A little bit of muscle does wonders for your health. But the 10,000 steps a day is more important than resistance training, like weight training. But if you want to do even more, so prioritize getting the 10,000 steps a day or 5,000 steps a day at least, right? Prioritize that. But if you have that area covered, then try to build a little bit of muscle as well. Okay. And building a little bit, you don't need a gym membership. I mean, if you have some dumbbells in your house, that's really good. But honestly, if you don't have dumbbells, you could just do push-ups and squats. You could just do push-ups and squats. And that requires no gym membership and no equipment. Push-ups and squats covers a lot of your muscles. And you just need this much space in a corner of your room to do both. You don't need any equipment, you don't need any memberships. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm trying to get healthy. I went to the gym, I got this membership. Go, guys, walk outside. Oh, here's another thing. Put on some music and dance. Put on some music and dance. If That's free. That's free. No equipment's needed. Just go out in the park, walk your dog until you get 5,000 steps. This stuff is not complicated, guys. Juris, I want to think I have no muscle. Just do some push-ups and some squats. Jack is saying I don't have a step counter. You have a smartphone? Jack, just get you think I don't have a step counter. There's a free app called Fit, Google Fit. You don't need a wearable. You could just hold your phone while you're walking. Just download the app Google Fit. It's a step counter. It doesn't. You're saying they're unreliable. You don't. It doesn't need to be exactly 10,000 steps. Okay. This is not supposed. It's not. You're not trying to solve a mathematical formula. Okay. It's not like, oh my God, it says 10,000 steps, but I got only 9,500 steps. Who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. Okay. Just pick a number and reach it. Like if you on your phone, if you get to 5,000 steps, even if you did 4,000 or 4,500, like usually, even if they're not reliable, they're usually pretty close. If it's 4,500, that's fine. Say if I shake my phone, it counts as a step, so I accidentally add a lot of steps. Well, don't shake your phone then. Just hold it normally and it will usually be accurate. Okay, so here's the thing. I usually do two different ways of counting my steps, and they usually are pretty close. They're not exactly the same, but they usually are pretty close. So I use different apps at the same time on my phone and on my watch to count my steps. And yeah, they're not 100% accurate. That which shows because every single one of them is telling me my step count is different, but it's close enough. I don't. It's not like 5,000 is a magic number that if you do 4,999, all of a sudden you didn't get the health benefits. I mean, even if you're not counting your steps, just like as long as you're not stationary, you're doing more than most people. Just like dance for 20 minutes every day. How about that? Tree of Knowledge is saying, I go to the gym twice a week. Thank you. Thank you, Armin. Well, good job. Twice a week is good. That's good. But try to do daily when it comes to mobility. Like there's two different things that we're trying to do here. Okay. We're trying to make sure that every day my body has not been just all stationary without movement. Okay. So we need some mobility almost every day. That's a good thing to do, right? So dancing, walking. Guys, if you don't want to count your steps, don't count your steps. Okay. just just go for a walk for half an hour, medium pace walking for half an hour. Okay. This is not like, if you think, here's what I'm worried about. Some of you are like, what is the exact amount of walking that I need to do for this to be beneficial? And if you don't figure that out, are you just going to not walk? Right? The fact that you go out and walk for any period of time is already so much better than people who are not walking that day. So if you think to yourself, because I cannot count the steps, or because I don't know, because I've heard that I should walk 20 minutes, but I only had time for 10 minutes of walking, so I didn't walk at all. You know what I mean? Like, just here, how about this? Instead of thinking about the amount of steps that you need to take or the amount of minutes that you need to walk, just make it a habit for you to walk any amount every day. You could worry about the amount later. How about just making it a habit for me to go walk a little bit until I get bored and I want to come back in, right? Just go walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes another day, right? Just first, before you think about how much I'm walking every day, make walking every day a habit. And then once you get to the point where it's now a habit, then you could start focusing about, well, maybe I need to increase the amount of walking I do every session, right? Oh, Jack is saying I now downloaded the step app. Yeah, I mean it's encouraging. I know it's good to just walk even without the app, like not having to, like, don't come up with an excuse that I don't know how many steps I need to do, so I'm not going to do it at all. People, I mean, just go out and walk. But the reason why I like the app is because I like those little check marks when it says like I give it a goal, right? I say I want to walk 10,000 steps every day, right? And when I see like in the past 1 week, every day I got a check mark, it makes me happy. Okay, it makes my lizard brain like, oh look, numbers. Like I know lizards don't deal with numbers, but I think it's somehow, yeah. I don't think the analogy works. But anyways, I just like to see little rewards. I think it is a reward. It is a lizard brain. I know lizards don't deal with numbers, but it's because instant gratification. Those the apps, when they give you a check mark for today, then reaching your goal, that check mark is like instant gratification for that day, which is I'm walking for a long-term gratification, but my lizard brain wants an instant gratification. So the app will give me a check mark, making me feel like I was accomplished my goal for today. Right. So that's what the point of the app is. Alice saying park a bit farther from your destination. It'll force you to walk. Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, exactly. Tree of Knowledge saying, I have ADHD. I've always been super active and moving around a lot, but I didn't have any muscles. Then I went to the gym and started building muscle. Good job, guys. Good job, guys. Building muscle is not about. It's not just about looking better. It's really, there's a lot of health benefits for having some, for having having some muscles is really good for you. But again, the priority is sleeping a lot, drinking water, moving your body in any way, even if you're not weight training, and more important than all of them, uh, again, sorry guys, stop smoking, stop drinking alcohol. Drinking alcohol apparently is as bad as smoking, new studies shows. Jack is saying, I walk 36 steps and the app says 72. Okay, well, keep testing it. And then if you see it consistently, um, figure out exactly. How about this? Ask ChatGPT. Like, was it big steps? Was it shorter steps? Doesn't matter. Like, just here's the thing, Jack. Even if it is not reliable, just pick a number. Okay, let's say it's you took 36 steps and it says 72. Okay, just pick a number on the app and try to reach it every day, and then see if you could do more. Just pick a bigger number, or if you can, if you're happy with the number that you're reaching every day, just reach that number every day. Whatever it's counting, it doesn't matter. Just pick a number that you can reach every day with the app and reach that number. Does that make sense? Let's say it's not counting steps at all. It's just counting imaginary points. It's just counting imaginary points. Just when you go on a walk, just hold your phone and reach that number that you could reliably reach every day. Does that make sense? Okay, so yes, it makes sense. Jewish Samantha saying, I'm not strong enough to do push-ups. Can you do push-ups with your knees on the ground? You could do push-ups, Jewish Samantha. Can you do some push-ups with your knees on the ground? And if not, can you do some push-ups against the wall instead of against the ground? You could. There's always something you could start with. I'm pretty sure you could do some push-ups against the wall instead of the ground if you cannot do. Yeah. Just start with whatever you can do and slowly work on it. So, Jewish Samantha, I think you really do need to work on. So, Jewish Samantha saying, no, I'm not strong enough to do them with my knees on the ground. Okay, so, okay, Jewish Samantha, then you need to work on that, I think. So here's the thing: ask ChatGPT that I need to do push-ups and I'm not strong enough to do knees. And here's what you do: go to ChatGPT, say I want to become stronger. This is my strength level right now. These are the things I cannot do that I wish I could do. These are the things I have access to. If you have anything that equipment, tell it. If you don't, just say I don't have anything. Tell it what you're willing to buy. If you're not willing to buy anything, just tell it that I'm not willing to buy anything. Right? I say, this is my situation. How do I get started? Suggest some exercises to me. And then if it suggests some exercises to you and you don't know how it works, just say, make me an image with instructions on, like, make me an image. Tell ChatGPT to make an image on what that exercise looks like. Okay? Oh, Mahwash is here. Hi. Anyways, I need to end the stream. The stream got really. Oh, okay, no. I was going to try to do it in half an hour, but it got double the time. I think this was useful. I think this was very useful. No, what I don't think I'm sure this was useful. Guys, again, like I say in every stream, the instructions I give you in these streams are so good. They're so good. I'm so impressed. I hope some of you understand how impressive the content of these live streams are, because they are lifesavers. Literally lifesavers. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you see our future streams. And I'm going to head out. Okay? All right, guys. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah. There we go.